Kick is up, has the accuracy, and it is good. Jake Bates throwing right side, and it's going to be intercepted. Return past the 15, past the 20, out past the 30. Has space down the sideline. 40, 35, 30. And he is gone. A pick six for Houston. Snap good, hold good, kick up. And it is straight down the middle. Looking to throw, rolls out right. Throws end zone. Touchdown San Antonio. Cody Latimer alone in the end zone. They take a 1-point lead with 3 seconds left. 52-yarder, left hash for the win. Snap good, hold good, kick up. And it's drilled. Miami escapes week 1 with the win. Jason Sanders is looking to throw. Pass right side, wide open. Touchdown Drake London. Touchdown Drake London. Atlanta has tied this game and are an extra point away from taking the lead. Needing the 12-yard line. Handoff, Robinson left side. And going to be stuffed. A loss of 4, maybe 5 on the play. And with 50 seconds to go, the Chiefs have the ball. And most likely that does it. Ball on the 17.5-yard line. Looking to throw. Stepping up, throwing for the end zone. And caught. Touchdown Green Bay. Dontavian Wicks. 56 seconds to play. The Packers are within 3. 6:17 to play in overtime. Tua shotgun. Back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Bunched up. Tua to throw. Has time. Plenty of time. Pass. End zone left side. Jonnu Smith. Touchdown Miami. They're gonna win. Let's go, baby. Here, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left. Gonna send Smith in motion. Toss left side for Saquon Barkley. Good blocking and room to run. Pass midfield. Spinning his way. Pass to 35 to 30. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. And the Eagles respond instantly. Saquon Barkley. Oh my. Making his presence felt. 1 play. 60 yards. 3rd and 9 from the 35. Mahomes looking to throw. Quick pass left side. Caught by Piron. Has room to run. First down and more. Down to about the 17. And he stays in bounds. That will do it. The Kansas City Chiefs have escaped the Bills and have punched their ticket. Hello, everybody, and welcome on in. Saturday begins with the Texans taking on the Chargers. The Chargers are wearing their throwbacks, the supercharged uniforms. Meanwhile, the Texans, it's just standard, same uniform. Kind of wish we got some type of like an alternate on alternate, but it's fine. The Chargers, with a win, keep their AFC West hopes alive for 1 more week due to the Broncos winning on Thursday night. The Texans, with a win, they clinch a playoff spot. They eliminate the Colts, and they give the Broncos the AFC West title. So a lot on the line with this one. There is 2 games today, but this is the only one I will be live with because for as much as I do feel like Ravens-Packers is going to be a solid game, I'm not really, I'd rather put all of my effort and my energy into this one than divide it up in between the 2. So we are here for Texans and Chargers. Again, a lot on the line with this one. And yeah, Denver and Los Angeles play next week, so the Chargers need to win to make that a 1 game for the division. Which that would be a great game next week. I think if the Chargers were to win today, that game is probably Sunday Night Football. Because the Saturday slate next week is pretty much set in stone to be the NFC West. It's all but been confirmed. We'll see. But first the Chargers need to win today. Also, with the Chargers' loss, it will be the first domino to fall, or the second domino to fall, technically, for the Broncos to clinch the 1 seed. In order for that to happen this week, Denver would need a Patriots loss, Chargers loss, Jacksonville loss, and Buffalo loss over the span of today and tomorrow. We'll see if that happens. I kind of doubt it, because the Patriots are playing the Jets, but we'll see. Hello. And what? What's going on? Damn. That sucks. Right before the new year, getting sick. Yeah. So far, I've been able to avoid it, but I'm also going live a ton, so my throat's a different story in terms of like actually losing my voice. We'll see. That was the case last year, where it could come the championship round in the playoffs and all that. It just was calling so many games each week. That's also part of the reason why I don't want to call tonight's game, because I don't think it's gonna be. I don't want to like put too much strain. Yeah. Yeah, at least to me, getting like rest in and naps in while being sick, it actually feels pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah, what was just like the hand on the forehead type of check. Yeah, I'll say that was pretty reliable. All right, the Texans are getting the ball first in this one. So again, the Texans win, and they're in, and they clinch their playoff spot. So this is gonna be an interesting one. Kickoff underway, going to be returned beginning from the 5, has space up past the 15 and down to the 16 before being brought down. Great kick coverage from the Chargers, and CJ Stroud will take the field inside his own 20. Yeah, that does suck, but I can just deal with it. I also make sure that like I like whenever I sleep normally I run hot. So all my like my pillow covers and sheets and all that are coolant sheets. So that doesn't when I have a fever and stuff, it doesn't really bother me like that the same way. Stroud gonna hand this off right side for Woody Marks, gets past the 20 and down to the 21, and that's how this game starts. What was the score of the New Mexico Bowl the other day? I meant to check that, but I forgot. Damn, Minnesota won in overtime. All right, New Mexico. Again, in the college football games, I have a New Mexico dynasty going, so I wanted to keep track with them this season. Actually, went pretty similar to how that first year went. Stroud under center, back behind him. 2nd and 5, gonna hand this off up the middle for Woody Marks once again. He's gonna fight his way to about the 24. So a 3rd and short coming up. 3rd and short. Yeah, Deshaun Hand, former Dolphin. It is. I mean, I know every fan base deals with this. There's nothing new. But it is so funny seeing like former Dolphins across the league making big time plays in prime time, and then you look back to when they were in Miami and during primetime games, and it's just not the same. Stroud in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side, looking to throw. First pass attempt of the game, and Stroud's gonna launch one deep, wide open over the middle. A walk-in touchdown to 10-5, and the Texans strike first on their opening drive. It's a 75-yard touchdown for Jaden Higgins. And that's how this game gets started. First pass attempt goes 75. Oh yeah, that's just broken. That's just broken coverage over the top. No one's there. Higgins has a nice double move and just gone. Alright, the extra point. It is up and it is good. That is a great start to this game for the Texans. O-line blocked well. Higgins got wide open over the middle. Chance to clinch a playoff spot, and the Texans are off to the exact right start, and we head to a commercial break. All right. Okay, honestly, can confidently say I was not expecting that to be how this one starts. But again, not only is that a great sign for this game, that's a great sign for the rest of the season into the playoffs, because the Texans have really needed a good stretch of games where their offense is clicking. Yeah, last week against the Raiders it wasn't great, but the Arizona game was great. Now, so far this one has been, it's one drive. We'll see. Oh, you did not. That's hell yeah. That's great. I assume it's gonna be the standard home jersey. What is this? What is this Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter commercial? That's an Adidas. They're Adidas athletes. All right. I'm already missing Netflix's commercial break timer. Okay, I opened up Twitter off the other monitor just for this commercial break, just to see if anything's being announced or not. And I see a mock draft where Miami gets the first overall pick for 2 firsts and Jalen Waddle. Just no. Just no. Yeah. Again, it is a good design as well. I just think that personally, if it's an option, obviously, whenever I do decide to get a Seahawks jersey, I probably would get throwbacks. Can I? Just coming back from commercial break. Kickoff underway. Going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers will begin this drive from the 35. We see Justin Herbert for the first time today. And perfect. Thank you, YouTube TV. Getting the quad box going because there's a bunch of bowl games today as well, including the legendary Pop-Tarts Bowl. Herbert in shotgun, back behind him, going to hand this off up the middle, and that's Omarion Hampton for a gain of about 3. Sorry, did I say the Arizona Bowl is on the CW? That's crazy. All right, second and about 7 or so. Herbert under center, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the right. Tight end in motion, right to left, back to right. Herbert going to quick fake a throw left and hand this off up the middle for Omarion Hampton, who gets to the 40. So it'll be a 3rd and 5. I can say Thomas Gotskowski. Is that? No shot, right? He hasn't been out of the league that long. All right, 3rd and 5. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Third and a long 5. Herbert looking to throw. Pressure coming and sacked. Back at the 30. It is Danielle Hunter. And the Chargers will go 3 and out. All right. Yeah, but 3 and out. And yeah, the Chargers' offensive line is incredibly banged up. So this might be a nice day for this Texans defense. Punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from the... Oh. No fair catch was signaled, it seems, and he gets hit while that ball arrives. Don't see any penalties. It would be Texans ball from about, what was that, like the 30-ish? Yeah, Jalen Noel forgets to call for a fair catch. He gets hit when that ball is arriving. It'll be Texans ball from about the 23. Yeah. Yeah, and plus staying another day, which gives you more time to rest and heal up. I'm seeing no ties between these two. And we're at commercial break. I'm very curious about this. Because it's not often you see the last name Gotskowski. So the fact that Miami, Ohio has a quarterback with that last name. Okay, no. Yeah, the only other Gotskowski I know of is Steven Gotskowski, who was the kicker for the Patriots for a while, but not related. Cool. Just had to double check that for my own sanity. Especially because, like, yesterday we saw Owen McCown, who is, I think, Josh McCown's son? Either Josh McCown or Luke McCown's son. Who are both NFL quarterbacks. So like, we're in that era of a lot of, like, second-generation players. Just had to make sure. Yep, at commercial break. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech and BYU are going at it in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Hell yeah. Again, I love the just amount of fun bowl games that college has. It's something you can't get in the NFL, but man, I wish you could. Okay, Bleacher Report can go weird sometimes. As we're just getting back from commercial break. I Herbert a little shaken up after that play, after that sack. So we'll see. I think he'll be fine though. All right, Stroud under center, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left. Play action looking to throw. Pass right side, going to be caught past the 40 to about the 41. That's Jaden Higgins once again on the reception. So 2 pass attempts, 2 completions, both to Jaden Higgins. And this Texas passing game going well so far. Stroud on their center, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left, man in motion left to right. Stroud going to hand this off up the middle. And that's going to be fighting forward past the 45 and down to the 46. Was stood up at the line, but got some assistance from his O-line. Going to make it a gain of about 5. I believe that's Woody Marks on the carry. Yeah, Woody Marks on the carry. Yeah, Texans started the season 0-3. And have just been on an absolute tear since then. They've won 10 of their last 12. Stroud under center, back behind him, play action, looking to throw, rolling left, dump off left side, going to be caught with space. A first down, past the 45, and out of bounds near the 42. That is Xavier Hutchinson on the reception. And they have gain of 11 up to the 43. And Chargers. The Texans are in Charger territory for the first time today. All right. 9:35 to play in the first. Stroud in shotgun, back to his right. Two receiving options to each side. Stroud play action, looking to throw. Has time, passing one deep over the middle. Has a man wide open. Touchdown, Houston. 43 yards out. And Jalen Noel extends this lead. Through 2 drives, CJ Stroud is a perfect 4 for 4 with 142 yards and 2 touchdowns of 40 plus. This is the Texans I was expecting to see on this past Sunday against the Raiders. So far they're on a great. They're playing great. The extra point is up, and it is good. 14-point lead. And there's still 9:17 to play in the first. We're not even halfway through the first quarter yet. And the Texans are up 14. So Texans scoring back-to-back drives. The Chargers had a 3 and out on their first. Let's see how they respond on their second. Right? The Chargers are going to need something soon. As we're at commercial break after that. Like, where was this performance last week for Stroud? Got back commercial break. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech just took the lead over BYU. Oh, UConn is wearing those helmets? No wonder why they're down by 17. Yeah, they really decided to lock in. And it's great. Again, this is the type of offensive showing that the Texans have, I wouldn't say have needed because they got it against Arizona, but just having these stretch of games where their offense is actually able to connect like this, heading into the playoffs is going to be great. Because again, they have the defense to win a Super Bowl. They just need the offense to get to an above average level. And through the past, 2 and a half, 2 and a fourth games or so, 2 and 1/8 game, I'm willing to say that the offense is getting to that level. Yeah, back commercial break. At commercial break. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Texans set to send this one away. But yeah, again, CJ Stroud off to as good of a start as you could have asked in this one. Hopefully, it'll continue. But so far, it's going great. Kickoff underway, going to be returned beginning from the 2. Face out past the 20, past the 25, and down to about the 26. So the Chargers will start from there. 3 and out on their first drive. Daniil Hunter got the sack on the third down, in large part thanks to going against a a very inexperienced left tackle. Bobby Hart gets to start at left tackle for the Chargers in this one, making his first start since 2022. So we can expect anyone going on that side to be in for a pretty solid game. Herbert under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the left. Going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space for Amari and Hampton to the 25, to the 30. Be a gain of 4. So Georgia Tech recovers a fumble on a kickoff and just scores again. Army is up big over UConn in, what was that, the Fenway Bowl. College bowl games, getting into a weird spot. And we're still like a week out from more college football playoff stuff. So the college football world needs to fix the scheduling for the CFP. Also, what's up, T-Fox? Herbert in shotgun, back to his right, going to hand this off up the middle for Amari and Hampton, and that's going to be a gain of about 2 or 3. It's a 3rd and 3, and already the Chargers feel like this is a must-get. There's 8:15 to play in the first quarter. Yeah, fantasy football is always like that, man. It is always like that. And it's probably the reason why I don't really care to like be in like a professional league or anything like that for fantasy. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receiving options to the right. 3rd and 3, going to keeping himself left side. Now going to dump it off, and that's enough for the first. Past the 40 to the 41. That's Trey Harris on the reception. So the Chargers get their first down of the game with 7:38 or so to play in the first quarter. Yeah, but again, no, it's the fact that you're playing him against the Jets. It's fantasy championship week. The Jets are still without an interception this season. Drake May about to throw like 4 picks. Herbert under center, back behind him, 2 receiving options to each side. Going to hand this off up the middle. And that's Amari and Hampton fighting forward past the 45 to the 46. Going to be a gain of about 5. Yeah, but still, other people are going to be playing Drake May in their championships this week and next. So that's just going to fuel the fire more. Second and 5, Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receiving options to the right. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that's Amari and Hampton stonewalled at the line for no gain. So a 3rd and 5 coming up. There's no chance for that to go to a positive yardage. It's Henry Toto on the tackle. Yeah. So a 3rd and 5. 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Ball on the 45.5-yard line or so. Herbert looking to throw. Pressure coming and sacked at the 40, at the 39. It's Will Anderson. And the Chargers will have to punt again. Once the Texans get the Chargers into a 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, their pass rush is just going to take advantage of how banged up this defense is. Sheldon Rankins and Will Anderson combined for the sack. The opening drive for the game, the Texans had a 75-yard touchdown. The Chargers then go 3 and out, and then Stroud has a 43-yard touchdown pass. And now the Chargers punt and going to be returned out past the 20 to about the 22. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough one. And like the Chargers only have the worst O-line because it's so injured. Like Rashawn Slater has not played a game this season because he got injured in training camp. Joe Alt missed a few games early, came back, and then proceeded to get injured for the season again. Like it's just bad luck for the Chargers, and they've still been able to win games with it. But I don't know, it's gonna be a tough one to come back in this, especially if they give up points here again. It's gonna be tough. I still think the Chargers make this somewhat close. I'll say 35-23. The Chargers defense still have a good defense. The Chargers still have a good defense. I think eventually they'll be able to make some stops, but it's been rough so far. No, it won't be the next Broncos. It's going to be years, potentially decades, until we get a game like Broncos Dolphins again. Yeah, Mac Hollins was placed on IR. Eric Kendricks was elevated. McCole Hardman gets released by the Bills practice squad, and they also elevate Michael Bagley. D. Eskridge, Zaire Johnson, Benito Jones going IR for Miami because of course they do. No, Darren Waller is still expected to play. Yeah. Yep, at commercial break. Just getting back from a commercial break. 36-3, I could see that. I don't know, I just don't know what to expect from the Chargers going forward now. They need to find a way to give Herbert some time. If that means like primarily doing like play actions and bootlegs and have him rolling out, then do it. Stroud quick pass left side going to be caught by Jalen Noel. It's a gain of roughly 4 up to the 25. Yeah, they need to find a way to get Herbert time, as well as find ways to open up the ground game. Like they have their style, it can work. They just need to scheme it up. Stroud under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the right, handoff up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 2. I could see 24-10 if the Chargers defense starts making some stands. It's a 3rd and roughly 4 right now. This would be a good time to start making some plays. If you're the Chargers defense. Khalil Mack is good to go for this one, so he's gonna have to He's gonna have to play a factor. Stroud and shotgun, back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side, making some adjustments at the line. Stroud looking to throw. Has time, pass right side, going to be caught, and that's enough for the first. Gets to the 32. And they get a fresh set of downs. It's Christian Kirk on the reception. All right. Hey, at least the Chargers defense didn't give up a massive play on 3rd down like they did on the opening drive. 1 yard per play for the Chargers compared to 16 so far for the Texans. Jeez. Stroud under center, going to hand this off right side, and that's going to be about a 2 yards, maybe just 1. It's Nick Chubb on the carry. Yeah, because we're going to be rolling it a gain of 1. Shut up, Diva. Ugh. I remember when Christian Kirk signed that massive deal with the Jaguars a few years ago, and everyone was like, "Why the hell are you signing him to that?" Stroud pass left side gonna be well off the mark and incomplete. Some miscommunication there between him and Jaden Higgins. It would be a 3rd and 9. All right, 3rd and 9. Stroud in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. That was clever. Stroud looking to throw. Pressure coming and just going to throw this one away, incomplete. Nick Chubb in the vicinity, and the Chargers defense successfully gets off the field on 3rd down and keeps this as a 2-score game. He still might. He still very well could. Yeah, just not much available on that one. So on 4th and 9, the punt from Tommy Townsend comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from the 11. Space out past the 15. Trying to find space past the 20, but will be brought down at the 18. So the Chargers will start backed up in their own territory. 2:04 to play in the first quarter. We head to a commercial break. All right. At commercial break. I mean, they still could, in theory, because like the interior offensive line could use some work, but I they wouldn't go tackle. They have two like franchise caliber tackles. It's just both of them unfortunately got hurt this season. I could still see them go interior though. Maybe as like a day 2 pick. I think in first round probably should go for another receiving option. Or maybe someone on that defense as you're probably gonna lose Khalil Mack in the offseason. So you get someone to replace him. I mean, that could still be true, and the difference still between Brosmer and the average NFL viewer still being incredibly wide. But I mean, at the same time, though, the Vikings won. I don't think the Vikings won, and Brosmer made a very key throw in that win at the end of the game. I don't think an average NFL viewer can make the same throw that he did to Jefferson on that 3rd down to seal the game. All right, just getting back from commercial break. Chargers down by 14. Defense just made a big play. Now can the offense build off of it? Herbert in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Herbert gonna play action and look to throw. Has some time, a dump off left side for Marion Hampton is going to get past the 20 and down to the 23. That's something. The old line held up well there. That's kind of the main thing. You're gonna need that old line to be able to hold up. 2nd and 5, a minute 30 to play in the first quarter. Herbert under center, back behind him, 2 receiving options to each side. Handoff up the middle is going to be a gain of a yard for Amarian Hampton. Because the Lions forgot that you need control of the ball in order to win football games. Yeah, like it's and the way the fact that that's how the Lions got eliminated as well. It's just tough. Herbert looking to throw in 3rd and 4. Quick pass left side, gonna be dropped. It's there for Keenan Allen, but he couldn't hang on, and the Chargers go 3 and out. Not the drive you wanted. Yeah. It's just a tough season for the Lions. Again, you went 15-2 last year. You were not gonna have that same caliber of season, but you were expecting more than this. Also, if you're saying that, like, again, the Chargers have the worst O-line, not because like the actual like players on that lines, like two of their best offensive linemen were out for the season by week 5. Because they have the worst O-line because of injuries. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater were both out for the year by week 5. You have one of those at this point in the season. The offensive line is drastically better. So you're getting both of them back for next year. You're gonna be your offensive line is instantly gonna be back into a top 10 unit just by those two returning from injury. Oh, during the punt, there was a holding against the Texans. Gonna push them back 10 from the end of the punt. But that's what I'm also like. They could definitely improve the interior of the offensive line. But I wouldn't do that with the 1st round pick. I would do that day 2. All right, 36 seconds to play in the first. It's a 1st and 10 for Houston from their own 17 after the holding penalty on the punt. So Stroud in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Potentially the final play of the first quarter. Stroud going to toss this right side for Woody Marks, and he has some space to get to the 20. So that will be the end of the first quarter. They're going to let this clock run. So 15 minutes in the books. This game has been all Texans through 1. We'll see if they can continue this dominance or if the Chargers can find some life. Be like the main thing with the Chargers is I'm curious to see if they can retain Khalil Mack. And if that's going to impact how they handle the draft. I still think you probably go edge rusher. Just because you lost Joey Bosa this past offseason. You're probably going to lose Khalil Mack this offseason. You need to find someone to fit into those shoes. But we'll see. As we're at commercial break for the end of the first quarter. I could see them go receiver. At the same time, I mean, Quentin Johnston took a massive leap this season. Like a legitimately massive leap in development. You still have Vlad who's playing well. Trey Harris has looked fine this year. I think if they go receiver, it won't be. It probably would be a day 3 pick for them. Because yeah, they have a first, second, third, fourth, and sixth. I'm leaning that they should probably go edge rusher round 1, or at least like interior or like defensive line to some degree. Because again, for as much as I like Deshaun Hand and I like Tier Tart, you can improve in those 2 spots. I think that's probably the play. And again, like you're most likely gonna lose Khalil Mack. You never really found a replacement for Joey Bosa this season. I'm not sure what the Texans do in the draft. I like a lot of what their team's looking like. Woody Marks has been a great like find for them. Maybe they go run him back, but that's probably day 2 pick. If anything, I would be more in favor of the Texans going offensive line than I would be of the Chargers. Stroud in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side, 2nd and 7. Stroud looking to throw. Pressure coming, stepping up, pass right side, going to be tipped at the line and incomplete. So a 3rd and 7 coming up. Like the Texans themselves are down 2 offensive tackles to them. Yeah. Like they can definitely add to that, but I think that's because of how that defense is built. I'm not sure if you really can throw in a rookie into that and just have him be an instant impact guy. So that's why it's like you probably don't do 1st round defense. 3rd and 7, pass over the middle, can be caught with space. Pass the 30 to the 35. It's Nico Collins on the reception, and the Texans keep the drive going. Like if for the Texans to draft a defensive player, we would want it to be someone that can get spot snaps occasionally, not someone that would like be an every down type of player. Because they already have plenty of those. Stroud gonna hand this off left side, and there's space past the 40 and down to the 43-ish. It's Jahar Jordan on the carry, I believe. They can go there. They can go to Miami safety. I don't know. In terms of like safeties for this upcoming class, I'm heavily keeping an eye on Caleb Downs' draft stock. I think he would be the one name I would want Miami to legitimately trade up to get if he's available, like at 7 or 8. Stroud gonna end around this one, left side for Xavier Hutchinson. That's enough for the 1st, and then some past midfield and down to the Charger 48. Yeah, but even then, like their secondary has improved throughout the season. They're also dealing with quite a few injuries to that secondary, so. Stroud under center, back behind him. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and that's a gain of maybe a yard. So 2nd and 9.5 or so coming up. So Stroud in shotgun, back to his left. Looking to throw on 2nd and roughly 10. Pass right side, can be caught. Past the 45 and down to about the 42 for Dalton Schultz. And there's some pushing and shoving going afterwards. There's going to be a penalty down. Dear Tart hits Schultz late in the head. He gets up and instantly pushes Tart over. We'll see who this is on. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Again, I've been saying the Texans defense is one that could easily win them a Super Bowl. They just need an offense to back it up. And so far through today and against Arizona, they had that. After the play, a personal foul against Houston. Calling it against Dalton Schultz, gonna push him back 15 from the end of the play. Again, the refs always get the second. Geartard hits him well late, gets him towards the head. But Schultz retaliates, and that's what they get him on. So 12 minutes to play in the first half. Now a 3rd and 17 from their own 44. Stroud looking to throw, dump off right side, going to be caught. It's Woody Marks down to about the 48. Not enough for the first. And now the Texans will punt off of the Dalton Schultz personal foul. And the Chargers keep this a 14-point game. They're not falling apart. They've still been moving the ball better than the Chargers have ever had this game so far. That's just a bad penalty for Schultz to take. Punt comes off clean. Gonna be fair caught inside the 10 to the 8. Like, that's one where I get why Schultz retaliated, but you have to make sure there is a penalty on Tart first before you retaliate. Because there should have been a penalty on Dear Tart. The refs just didn't call it. We have at commercial break. Yep, will be Charger ball at their own 8. At commercial break, as Army just closed out that game against UConn. What's the next bowl game for that? Yes, the Broncos make it past the first round. Because they're most likely gonna get that one. Most likely gonna get the 1 seed. Not the CFP. They're playing in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Yeah, so it's still an upset. They're 6-6 entering this game. UConn was 9-3. Our Army dominated them in that game. So next is on ESPN, right? Yeah. Next is going to be the New Mexico Bowl for North Texas and San Diego State. Cool. It would depend on the matchup, but I still think they do. Because again, the Texans defense is also a really good defense. And them playing at home is going to massively help out that team. Either it's through home field advantage or through them being the 2 seed. If they win that division, they're going to be able to make a good run. Herbert handoff left side on 1st and 10, going to work his way to about the line of scrimmage, maybe given the 8.5-yard line, but not much else. Oh, LSU plays tonight. Hell yeah. Penn State beat Clemson earlier in the Pinstripe Bowl. If we get another 48-8 Super Bowl this year, then it's just like, no. That was Azeez Al-Shaair was injured on that previous play. Slow to get up. We're heading to an injury timeout commercial break. Also, why is for the yard marks? Why is Houston abbreviated HST for ESPN? I hate that website. They nearly made it last year. They nearly made the CFP last year. Probably Texans Rams would be my Super Bowl pick right now. It is going to be Texans and someone from the NFC West. I'm not sure who, but I'm going to lean the Rams just because of playoff experience. It would. It would be nice to see. It also would be nice to see Jacksonville have that kind of success. But I doubt it. They're playing really well right now, but I don't know. And I feel like they got hot a little bit too early, and it's eventually going to stall out. I want to go greatest Super Bowl of all time. It's gonna be very hard for Super Bowls to top Super Bowl 52. Super Bowl 52 is probably the best Super Bowl ever. Second place would be Super Bowl 51. But if you had those swapped, I would understand. 52 was the Nick Foles game, Eagles Patriots. That was the game with good old Philly, and the Philly special. It ended I want to say 35-31. I favor that over the 28-3 Super Bowl 51 because the Patriots lost Super Bowl 52. But I would understand swapping those. Yeah, that was the Super Bowl. I mentioned it before in VC's the Fox. So that was the Super Bowl where I beat Sonic Forces that day. I played it leading up to the Super Bowl. We went to a Super Bowl party, then I finished it afterwards. Herbert pass right side going to be incomplete. A dive-in pass breakup as he was looking for Quentin Johnston. So a 3rd and 9 coming up from inside their own 10. A beautiful dive-in pass breakup from Jalen Petrie. So a 3rd and 9, 10.5 to play in the first half. Yeah, it was a great Super Bowl. Herbert looking to throw in 3rd and 9. Has some time. Pass right side. Going to be caught, but brought down near the 14. Not going to be enough. That is Olande Gadsden. Or Oronde Gadsden on the reception. And the Chargers go 3 and out once again. And the Texans score on the first two drives. And since then, it has been a field position battle game. Yeah. Yeah, because the defenses have made their adjustments and are starting to lock in. Punt comes off clean, going to be fair caught at the 46. The Texans going to have some excellent starting field position. And now there's a penalty. It's holding against the Texans. Push them back 10. Yeah, but could you imagine the Patriots three-peated and they three-peat on what Super Bowl 53 ended up being? I mean, Super Bowl 53 had potential to be a fantastic game if it was Chiefs Rams. Or if it was Patriot Saints. It was just the wrong matchup. At 1st and 10. Stroud under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the left. Stroud going to hand this off up the middle, and there's space to about the 40, maybe 41 for Woody Marks. Gain of roughly 5. Yeah, and then that was that season before Super Bowl 53. That was that 2018 season. And man, if we would have gotten that repeat in the Super Bowl, it would have been fantastic. Instead, we got the 13-3 absolute snore fest that was Patriots Rams. Stroud play action, looking to throw in 2nd and 5. Has time, pass right side, gonna be incomplete, pretty much a throwaway. But yeah, it was like that Super Bowl is what got Brian Flores the head coaching job in Miami. And then now, years down the line, he's still making Jared Goff's life not great by being the DC in Minnesota. All right, 3rd and 5. Stroud in shotgun. Back to his right, 3 receivers to the left, looking to throw. Pass left side is intercepted. Past the 40 to the 37. Derwin James, the Pro Bowler, gets the pick. And that just was not a good throw from CJ Stroud. Threw it directly to Derwin James. Yeah, I don't know what Stroud was looking at there. Derwin James was in the passing lane for 2 different routes. Oh, does that get tipped? That gets tipped. He was trying to loft it over him, but it gets tipped and goes directly to him instead. All right, so Herbert under center, back behind him. Handoff up the middle is going to be Omarion Hampton past the 35 and down to the 33. I wasn't really a fan of Flores. I mean, like Flores got I will give Flores this. He got a really bad shake in Miami. He was not really given a chance. At the same time, he didn't really give himself the opportunity to get a chance. Because like his first year was the year Miami sells off and decides to want to tank and go for a quarterback and start a rebuild, which is fine. As Herbert play action looking to throw, pass left side, caught by Hampton. Has space out past the 30, 25, 20, and out of bounds to the 15. I'm not sure who I want to replace McDaniel just yet. We'll see whenever he does get fired and who's like the candidates. It's hard to make a judge like that when you still have to assume McDaniel's the guy next year. Yes, Flores it comes in and it's the start of the rebuild. It's the tank year, so whatever. And then like he never could get an offensive staff going great. He clearly his relationship with Tua was not great. At the same time, like it wasn't great because he saw the flaws in Tua that most guys people thought he was gonna develop out of, and he just never did. And around left side for Trey Harris can get inside the 10 to about the 8. I mean, if we get John Gruden, I wouldn't be completely opposed to it. I wouldn't be off the wall and excited, but I think it'll be interesting. I don't necessarily want to keep him. I just think that's the most likely decision Miami is going to make right now. As there is a Texan slow to get up after that play. There's a 2nd and 3 coming up for the Chargers, and we're going to head to a commercial break. It's Kamari Lassiter who's still to get up. It's like I have to assume McDaniel's the coach next year until it is announced he is fired. I'm willing to give him a chance with a quarterback he chooses, but his leash is not long. I'm willing to see what he does with ideally someone that, you know, isn't completely like that, isn't going to hog tie the offense with a lack of true ability. Because Stephen Ross and the Dolphins hired McDaniel because of his offensive mind and the idea that he could get the most out of Tua, which he did. 2023 was probably the best, was Tua's best season of his career, and probably will stay that way. So it was the case where if he wanted the head coaching job, he needed to work with Tua's limitations. Now that he's gonna have a chance to actually go out and scout quarterbacks and get the quarterback that he sees best fits what he wants an offense to look like, maybe it'll yield better results. But again, the leash is not long. He has not granted himself a long leash by how this season has ended. Yeah, Brian Callahan would be the worst case scenario. I mean, if Ted Ginn ends up being a great head coach in the UFL, bring him. No, this is where the tough situation comes in. It's like, how good do you think this Dolphins team can be if you just simply get a quarterback that's not limited in their abilities? I still think that even if you get Fernando Mendoza or you get Dante Moore and you bring him in, first, like the team still surrounding them is not good enough to be a legitimate contender. So you're going to have to take a year or two to then even build the team around them. And at that point, you're wasting years on a rookie contract. So I think the smarter play would be to simply wait a season, but I don't think McDaniel has the time to wait another season. So they're gonna probably go after a quarterback. If trading up to get Mendoza does not cost an arm and a leg, you probably do it. He's a Miami kid. It would be nice to see him return. But at the same time, I mean, we're still probably gonna be in for about a 500 season next year at best. Unless guys drastically improve, and all of a sudden that this team gets better. All of a sudden, like the off season and the free agency ends up being great, which it most likely won't be because you're moving off of Tua's contract. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird spot Miami's in. Because you have Ramsey's dead cap hit still for next year, so you can add on Tua's to that. Which, because of Ramsey's dead cap hit, is why it would be better to trade Tua, because that way you don't have $100 million plus in dead cap hit next year. Okay, just coming back from commercial break. Herbert under center, gonna hand this off up the middle, and it's gonna lose about a yard. There's also some reports that, like, you know, the relationship between the Ravens and Lamar Jackson is starting to fracture, and the Ravens might have to choose in the offseason between Harbaugh and Lamar. If that's the case, then I could definitely see Miami trading for Lamar Jackson because, one, Stephen Ross wanted Lamar Jackson back in 2018, but they didn't draft him because Adam Gase said, we have Ryan Tannehill, we'll be fine. Or was it 2017, whatever. Herbert looking to throw in 3rd and 4. Has some time, rolling to his right to buy some more. Still looking, pass end zone, going to be out the back of the end zone, incomplete. Like I could see Steven Ross want to like right that mistake. And it's either gonna be like it's either you trade for Lamar or you trade or you trade to get Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. If you can't do either of those options, you wait till next year. You wait till 2027. All right, 27-yard kick from the left hash. As out comes Cameron Dicker to try and get the Chargers on the board. The kick is up, and it is right down the middle. It would go crazy. I don't know how good Lamar would be in Miami. But I do think like if you trade for Lamar Jackson, you pair him with McDaniel, Waddle, Achane, and kind of like the so far the core Miami has, your ceiling is definitely higher than just a 500 team. But I don't think I just don't know how high that ceiling would actually be. Because again, the report says that the relationship between Lamar and the front office is starting to fracture. So if Lamar requests a trade, apparently one of his top options is Miami, and I believe he has a no trade clause, so he would get to choose where he wants to go. So at that point, you don't have to give up nearly as much as you would if he was fully on the open market. Obviously, this is all just reports and rumors right now. We'll have to wait till the offseason actually arrives before that's made. It's going to be the case where the Ravens have to choose Lamar or Harbaugh. And Miami's probably going to make a trade with Baltimore one way or another. It's either they trade for John Harbaugh or they trade for Lamar Jackson. And the capital going back to Baltimore is probably the same either way. Kickoff going to be returned out past the 20 and out of bounds near the 23. You would probably give up the 10th overall pick. You would probably give up your 2027 first. And you'll probably give up one of your 3 third-round picks for this year. That's like the starting point for a trade like that. Maybe you throw in some other day 3 picks. Maybe you throw in a player that's like on an expiring deal or whatnot. But that's the starting point. I personally don't. But I would not be surprised if Steven Ross wants him. Handoff up the middle on 1st and 10 can get up past the 25 to about the 26. I wouldn't say he's terrible. I mean, he's a Super Bowl winning head coach who has a long history of success in the NFL, multiple playoff appearances, multiple playoff wins. Maybe it's just he needs a change of scenery, just like maybe the same way Lamar Jackson needs a change of scenery. Now, yes, Harbaugh has made some very questionable decisions as head coach in Baltimore, like not playing Derrick Henry the final 9 minutes of the game against New England. But that's stuff that's kind of like a whatever. Handoff up the middle could be enough for the first up past the 35 and down to about the 36, maybe 37. Like, Harbaugh by no means is a terrible head coach. Most likely they're going to pick Lamar Jackson. And honestly, if that's the case, then you probably don't have to trade for Harbaugh. The reason why you would trade for him is because you want to make sure you get him. But if they're probably going to fire him anyway, if they do choose Lamar. So at that point, you have to make a very quick decision on McDaniel. Stroud handoff right side, gonna lose about 3 for Woody Marks. Back to the 34. It's Tony Jefferson on the tackle for loss, and the 2nd and 12 coming up. Trevion Henderson has cleared concussion protocol and will play tomorrow versus the Jets. Cool. Stroud in shotgun, back to his left. Play action, pass left side. Can be caught by Jalen Noel up past the 40 and down to about the 43. So a gain of 8 and the 3rd and 4 coming up. Yeah. But still, like, he still probably had a great amount of points. And then that's Baltimore signaling that they're entering for a rebuild. And thus, if you're Miami, you have to try and get Derrick Henry as well. Stroud and shotgun back to his left. 2 receiving options to each side. 3rd and 4, looking to throw. Stroud, pass left side. Gonna be off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Woody Marks on a halfback wheel. And the Texans' drive stalls out at around midfield, and they will punt with 3:25 to play in this first half. 14 points, that's not bad for less than a half a play, or half a play just about. Yeah, does Khalil Mack getting instant pressure there to force the bad throw? Punt comes off clean. Going to be fair caught at the 12. I would definitely take that deal. 2 first and 2 for Lamar Jackson. I would take that deal. I've seen other reports that's like 3 first, a second, and 2. Like, no. 2 first and a 2 is probably what I would do. Maybe you throw in a 3rd as well from this year, but I wouldn't do much more than that. In terms of like picks and a player, obviously like, I would throw in more picks if anything, but I wouldn't do much more player wise. Because for as little as Tua's value is, it's still probably about 4th round if you're lucky with it. Herbert under center, going to play action and look to throw. Pass left side, going to be caught up to the 29. It's Quentin Johnston on the reception. I mean, I booted up Madden 26 the other day to start a Dolphins rebuild in that, and I was able to get off of Tua for like, I think it was like Gunner Helm and a 5th. I'm like, yeah, that's a great deal. 2 first and Ewers for Lamar Jackson is done in a heartbeat. Now, you would still have to move off of Tua, but you definitely take that deal. Herbert shovel pass forward's going to lose about 5 or so. Back to the 24 for Amarian Hampton. That play had no chance of working. Basically, it's like if you can get Lamar to Miami, you do it. Yeah, but I also think if you include Ewers, you probably have to give up another pick or 2 in that case, just because you have how unproven he is. 2nd and 15, Herbert and shotgun back to his left, 3 receivers to the right, and they're gonna let this clock run down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the first half. It's an 11-point Texan lead, and we head to commercial break. Well, Zach Wilson's not under contract next year in Miami, so he won't be a part of any type of deal. Which I fully expect Zach Wilson to be let walk in the offseason. I don't think he returns, and I don't even want him to return. He did his role as a backup this year. I don't really need him for another year. Miami currently sits at the 11th pick because they haven't played yet, and the Chiefs lost. So Miami's going to be sitting at around probably 13th. Heard mock draft on Tankathon has Miami going Cardinal Tate. Yeah, that's interesting, I guess. Sadly, I won't be because that's a 405 kick. If that was 425, 100%. But with it being a 405 kick, it would be tough for me to call it. Who knows if the Dolphins Buccaneers game ends at like 340. If that ends early, I might. But the idea right now is to go live with Bills Eagles. Trust me, I am tempted to call that game. A ton of players are out. It's not going to be a good game. But man, do I want to call that. Mainly because like Bills Eagles doesn't have anything in terms of like playoff stand-ins and stuff at stake yet. Because the Patriots most likely not going to lose to the Jets. Whereas like a battle for the first overall pick, that doesn't happen every single year. We'll see. It's a 3-round mock. Oh, this mock draft has Miami going John Mater in the 3rd. Oh, hold on. I actually kind of like that. Back from commercial break, Herbert and shotgun back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side. Ball on their own 23.5-yard line. Herbert looking to throw. Has some time, stepping up, gonna roll left and look to keep it himself. He gets past the 25 and out of bounds to the 26. And there's some pushing and shoving going along on the Chargers sideline. As Herbert got hit, not necessarily late, but he was clearly giving himself up, and yeah. Because a typical NFL game that starts at 1 o'clock ends at about 4:10. So at that point, by the time that the Dolphin game would end, I scheduled to stream and properly go live, I would probably miss about the first 2 drives. And it kind of defeats the purpose of going live with a game because the first few drives are important. Herbert alone in shotgun, looking to throw in 3rd and 13. Pressure coming, launching one deep. Left side has a man. Quentin Johnston past the 15 and down to the 13. There's the chunk play the Chargers have needed. It's 1st and 10 inside the 15. And I'm shocked the Chargers are not calling their timeout just yet. 1:28 and counting to go in the first half. That is a beautiful throw from Justin Herbert. That is roughly 60 plus yards in air. As Herbert looks to throw in 1st and 10. Pressure coming, pass over the middle is tipped and intercepted. Oronde Gadsden over the middle, the intended target. It bounces off his hands, and it's Azeez Al-Shaair taking it off at about the 1-yard line. You went from a fantastic play, like a play that you needed, to a play that you absolutely could not afford to have. And yeah, it's gonna be Texans ball on about the 1. That's why you call a timeout after the 60-yard gain to Johnston. Call a timeout, get your emotions into check, and regroup a bit. That's why you call a timeout after that. All right, so Stroud under center, back behind him. Gonna QB sneak this in order to get a few yards to give the offense more breathing room. He gets to about the 3. And yeah, that's a tough play for the rookie. It is very, yeah, that is very much that type of energy. All right, the New Mexico Bowl has officially started. See if North Texas can cap off what's been a great season. So the Chargers will call their first timeout. Stroud under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the left. Stroud gonna hand this off up the middle for Woody Marks, and he has space. Past the 15, past the 20, and down to the 23. Well, there's your breathing room for this Texans offense. All right, the Texans will use their first timeout here as there is a Texan slow to get up. No, they wouldn't get the 1 seed. They would be a game behind the Broncos for the 1 seed and for first place in that division. The Broncos are guaranteed to be in the 1 seed entering week 18. What was... Again, I wouldn't trade the entire QB room for Lamar. Again, part of it is also like Zach Wilson's not under contract in Miami next year. He's going to be a free agent, and I am not opposed to letting him walk. So you won't have that. You won't have him be an option. All right, 52 seconds left in the first. We're going to go to a 30-second break here. As Ed Ingram got injured on that play, the Texans right guard. Wait, you have to keep at least one QB to be a backup. I mean, in theory, you could go out and sign someone as well, but I don't know. You need to keep at least one. And since most likely Zach Wilson's going to be let walk in the offseason, you would keep yours. Giants have placed 4 players on IR entering this week as they're trying to get that first overall pick. No. No, you could not keep Tua in the offseason. In that situation, if they want Ewers over Tua, you trade Ewers, and then you have to trade Tua somewhere else. Stroud quick pass left side, going to be incomplete. Looking for Dalton Schultz. 2nd and 10 coming up. Especially if part of it is you trade for Lamar, Tua cannot be on the team next year. Well, then the Giants would get the first overall pick because they would still be tied record wise. Stroud pass over the middle is intercepted at the 32. Looking for Christian Kirk, and just another bad pass from CJ Stroud. So the Chargers with 2 timeouts are going to have a chance to get points on the board before halftime. As Elijah Molden gets the interception. Yeah, Elijah Bolden jumps to that route so cleanly. He's pretty much sitting in the passing lane. That's just on back-to-back bad interceptions from CJ Stroud. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, playing a sax over this game would probably be nice. It does feel like one of those games. Herbert in shotgun, looking to throw in 1st and 10. Pass left side, going to be caught past the 25 and down to the 21 for Quentin Johnston. He also gets out of bounds, stopping the clock. All All right, so 1st and 10, 40 seconds to play in the half. And yeah, they're showing CJ Stroud on the sideline. Ain't happy. Stroud, Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. Going to look to throw. Has time, pressure coming. Escapes. Nope, gonna be sacked. Back at the 37, and there's a penalty down. What's the penalty there? It's in the backfield. What? It has to be face mask, right? There's no way they say that's roughing the passer. Oh, it's tripping against the Texans. So personal foul and automatic first. Okay. So they're saying that he tripped Herbert at the end there? And it'll actually be half the distance. It'll be 1st and goal from the 10. Let's see. Okay, that angle shows it a bit better, yeah. He does trip him a bit. Alright, so 33 seconds and a half. 1st and goal. Herbert under center. Play action looking to throw. Pressure coming, avoids one, but fumbles. And gonna pick it up at the 18. And the Chargers call their 2nd timeout. Just play like the chicken chase song after this, or whatever it's called, from like the old cartoons. When was the first tripping penalty this past 2 weeks? Because Miami had a bad one against Baltimore, but that was like a month or plus ago. All right, a 2nd and 17 now. Oh yeah, there was a tripping in the Lions game. I forgot about that. I forgot a lot about that game. I kind of blocked that game out after it ended. That was Herbert in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, 2nd and 17. Going to look to throw. Herbert quick pass left side, caught by Quentin Johnston. Going to be a gain of about 3, and the clock will run. And now the Chargers will call their final timeout. So 19 seconds. No more timeouts. You can take a shot at the end zone. Yeah, I got the Phineas and Ferb reference. If not counting SpongeBob, Phineas and Ferb is like right up there for some of my favorite shows growing up. So it's 3rd and 14. Herbert in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Herbert looking to throw. Rolling right. Dump off right side. Going to be caught for only a gain of about a yard. It's Will Dissly on the reception. It's a 4th and 13. And out comes Cameron Dicker to make this an 8-point game at the half. Oh, my phone fell. Kick is up from 32 yards out, and he missed it to the right. Cameron Dicker pulled the kick right, and it's no good. Yeah, it's fine. It's not a fall drop. It's not a fall. It didn't fall that far. Yeah, very uncharacteristic miss for Cameron Dicker. And this remains an 11-point game. I put it on my leg for that split second there, and it just slid off. No, he's still well above 90% career. He was at a 94% career entering this game. He's still well above 90. Texans will need this one to halftime, as the Chargers fans are booing. It's a 11-point game at the half. The Chargers do get ball to begin the second half, so that's something to take away from. So we're heading to halftime. What is his career at now? Entering this game. He's now a 93.4% field goal kicker for his career. It was 94.1 entering this week. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just shocked there's enough fans in that stadium for the Chargers to be able to hear booing. Yeah, maybe. Yep, at the half. Yeah, I mean it's something. It's anything's worth a try at this point. Yep, and halftime. Instead of a Gatorade bath at the Pinstripe Bowl, they did grass clippings because it's sponsored by a mowing company. That's fantastic. This is the we do not know what the Week 18 Saturday game is going to be just yet. What I'm assuming they're going to be the two NFC West games in Rams Cardinals and Seahawks 49ers, because that's going to have a lot at stake for that division. But we'll see. I'm assuming that because I'm assuming that the Chargers come back in this game. Because if the Chargers come back in this one, they're going to make Chargers Broncos Sunday Night Football, and the NFC West games will be Saturday. Yeah, we'll be streaming them. Like if the Chargers lose, then I could see them pushing Seahawks 49ers till Sunday night. But also because the Rams still have the Rams can still win that division, I think making it Saturday, both games Saturday, would be probably the better idea. Oh yeah, with the grass clippings instead of the Gatorade bath. Oh, it's a fun charm to it. I'm just shocked that they had like 3 Gatorade tubs full of grass clippings. Yeah, to some extent, everyone is, I guess. They would want to make the Saturday games divisional. So like I could see Bucks Panthers being Sunday night, and then you make like, and then you make the NFC West ones Saturday. But I think bottom line is the NFC West gonna be playing on Saturday next and week 18. Yeah, and I kind of like I like the smell of cut grass. Mainly because like that's like the sign that the fields are ready to be played on. So yeah, but I get it as well. But there was those like bean boozle beans, and one of them like had grass clippings as a flavor, and apparently those that tasted relatively good, even for it being like the bad flavor of that color. Yeah, but again, like with three teams still being in the running for the division in the NFC West, you would make those two games on Saturday, and then you make one of Broncos, Chargers, Buccaneers, Panthers, and Ravens, Steelers on Sunday night, depending on the outcome of this week. Oh yeah, I could imagine New Jersey's bad for that. So it's similar to what they did last year with the AFC North and making those games on Saturday because three teams could have still won that division last year. The other two you just put at like standard time slots because like the case is the Ravens are most likely losing tonight, and thus that game would not be for the division. And even if the Ravens win somehow, the Steelers are most likely winning Sunday and thus clinching the division. And then, as of right now, the Chargers are losing. So if this stands, the Broncos win that division. So it wouldn't matter. Because then, there is no Monday night. I believe there is no Monday night game on week 18. The last Monday night game is Rams Falcons. Yeah, there's no Monday night in week 18. Yeah. But again, like more spots are going to be locked up soon for both. Okay, there's also no Thursday night for week 18. The last Thursday night game was Broncos Chiefs on Christmas. But most likely, assuming that both the Ravens and the Chargers lose, you're gonna have Buccaneers Panthers be Sunday Night Football. That's the most likely candidate. And then you would put the Broncos, the Jaguars, the Patriots, the Texans, and like those teams that are still in contention for the 1 seed. You would put those at the same time slot, and then you'll do the same thing for the NFC, where the NFC ones would be. I mean, like the NFC might as well just it's gonna be the Saturday stuff. So you put like the NFC seeding matches in the 4 o'clock slot, the AFC ones in the 1 o'clock. Or like in some cases, you probably have to put like Broncos Chargers a 4 o'clock game. That's just how the scheduling works. Because they want the NFL regular season to end on Sunday, so that way teams can use Monday to make like fire staff and get ready for the playoffs. They don't want anyone to be playing on a short week because you're gonna have playoff games on Saturday. So you want no one playing Monday night and having to turn around and play Sunday or Saturday. You want people to be on relatively the even playing field. It's that same reasoning. You don't want anyone to have too big of an advantage entering the playoffs. Because if you have teams playing Thursday night, they have anywhere from 9 to 10 games of rest, 10 days of rest. Which if you're playing against a team playing on Sunday night, that's too much rest time in comparison. So the idea is that you have 2 games on Saturday, and that will wrap up one of the division races. And then on Sunday, every team plays. NBC would not do 2 Sunday night games because they don't have a second network to do 2 games. Most likely scripted will be earlier for week 18. You wouldn't be able to do that either because of how NBC's airtime works. You can't do a 7 and 10 on Sunday for it. NBC is not a sports network. It's just a network that happens to have football games on it occasionally. They have one college game and they have one NFL game. So their airtime is completely full. That's why at 7 you get football night in America, you get Sunday night football, and then that's it for the NFL until next Sunday night. It was the perfect opportunity to include the Titans, but well, you can only ask so much. Yeah. Every time Tom goes to write script, he thinks back to that donation, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna not include it this week because. Yeah, I mean, you're one of those is probably going to be a game of the week game and be the main Fox one, and that'll most likely be. What would it most likely be? Chargers Broncos, I guess. All according to plan. Well, if Chargers Broncos is not for the division, they're not going to make that Sunday night football. It's very safe to lock in the NFC West games on Saturday and Bucks Panthers Sunday night football. Those I feel are all but guaranteed. It's especially if the Chargers lose, it's more so than guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, if the Chargers come back, then yeah, it's gonna be Broncos Chargers Sunday Night Football. They're not gonna pass up going to LA. But if assuming that the Chargers, assuming this score stands, then yeah. Because Tom doesn't do scripted for the playoffs, does he? I don't remember. The week 18, like after the fade out scene, is gonna be Strouds and Titans making up. Kickoff underway, gonna be down in the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers will begin from the 35. Oh, he still might do that then. No, they're gonna want to make Seahawks 49ers a standalone game and have it on Saturday because one, the 49ers are wearing the rivalries uniforms, so it's a good excuse there. And two, that's a game that's not only that's a game that's not only for the NFC West, it is for the one seed in the NFC. That game has to be a primetime slot. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, gonna play action and look to throw. Stepping up, now gonna roll right and taking himself, gets up past the 40 and sliding down at the 42. Yeah, but because the Rams can also win that division depending on the outcomes, they're gonna want that game to be standalone as well. It's gonna be Rams Cardinals at like 4:30, And then it's going to be Seahawks 49ers at 8:30, 8:20 for Saturday. That's what it's going to be. Herbert under center, back behind him. Handoff up the middle, and going to be met behind the line for a loss of about 2. Will Anderson in the backfield. And a 3rd and 5 coming up. Get some more rest. Because of the importance of it. You want you're gonna want games that are like for the division, because Rams Cardinals is still technically for the division. You want those to be on similar. You want those to be on a similar time frame and similar on the same day as Seahawks 49ers. Herbert pressure coming, pass right side, gonna be caught, but then ball comes loose. They're gonna rule it incomplete. So it's you know Seahawks 49ers is gonna be a standalone game, either Sunday night or Saturday. Or Saturday night. Because you have the Rams still involved in the division, you would want that to be the predecessor and the lead up to that standalone game. So you're still gonna want all eyes on that game because it's still the Rams. So that would be the first game. You have Seahawks 49ers then Saturday night. And then Bucks Panthers, because it's only Bucks Panthers for the division, you have that be Sunday night. Punt comes off clean, can be fair caught at the 15. Who cares about that? That part of it does. The outcomes do not matter because you can't bank off of outcomes. You need to assume that you need to go into every game assuming that it's going to at least be somewhat competitive. Because if the schedule makers and the media execs were able to confidently say outcomes, we would not have a lot of the games you've had on primetime this season. Like Cowboys Commanders would not have been a Christmas game if they knew that was gonna be how that game played out and how the standings of the NFL by that time. They were competitive early on in the season. They beat the Cowboys. They were competitive last week. But it's an every given Sunday mentality the NFL has. Because, like, you never know. The Cardinals can go out there and pull the Vikings like how they played against the Lions. You never know. So you make that game there to set the stage for what needs to happen in 49ers and Seahawks. Because depending on the record of the Rams, a certain outcome is needed for Seahawks 49ers for that division to be played out a certain way. Stroud dump off left side for Dalton Schultz. Going to have plenty of space up past the 25 and past the 30. Oh, and that ball comes loose. Refs are going to discuss near the 21-yard lines. Yeah, that's a fumble. Did the ball go out of bounds? And yeah, the ball goes out of bounds. So he fumbles it backwards out of bounds. We'll see where they rule this spot at. They're going to say a 3rd and 4. Ruled it at the 21. Oh, it does. Thank you. So Stroud in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receivers to the right, looking to throw in 3rd and 4. Pass left side is batted away and incomplete. A dangerous pass for CJ Stroud. So let me double check this. All right, so yeah, if the Falcons beat the Rams can no longer win that division. So then that sets the stage for 49ers and Seahawks to be a Sunday night game. But if the Rams win, like they might most likely will, then those would be Saturday. Also, I'm gonna keep Chargers ball because the Texans are about to punt this one away. So punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from the 25. Has space out past the space to about the 29. Yeah. Like as long as the Rams beat as long as the Rams beat the Falcons, those games are going to be on Saturday because of just because of how different the NFL playoff landscape can look. I doubt the Seahawks lose out. I mean, Carolina's gonna play them tough. Then Seattle gets the 1 seed because so they can so it's a case where Rams lose on Monday night, they get knocked out of that division title. If the Seahawks and 49ers both win, open it up to Saturday. So Saturday could still be like if there's 3 games to decide divisions in week 18, 2 of them will be Saturday, 1 of them would be Sunday night. So ideally, you're probably going to get like Broncos, Chargers, 49ers, Seahawks, and Buccaneers, Panthers as the 3 games on 2 games on Saturday, 1 game on Sunday night. Now, yeah, now of course there is the possibility that like the Bears lose on Sunday and all that, and then you set the stage for the NFC North. Maybe you play a factor in the scheduling, but I doubt that would even be taken into consideration. Yeah, because the assumption is the Rams are not going to lose to the Falcons. I'm assuming the Rams, actually play like the Rams and win. In which case, the Rams win on Sunday or Monday night, and then the Seahawks and 49ers, they have whatever happens with them. You have 3 teams all in the same division in contention for the 1 seed. Those 2 games need to be on Saturday. Just getting back from commercial break, we'll see the Chargers' first drive of the half here. Or second drive of the half. Herbert in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Ball on their own 30. Herbert looking to throw. Pressure coming, trying to step up and sacked at the 25. This is O-line. What? Harbaugh's Herbertisms. Ethan Hunt, Pablo Picasso, and the Minotaur. What is this graphic? Derek Barnett got the sack on that play. You cannot think of scheduling week 18 with the assumption of outcomes for week 18. And Herbert is sacked again. On 2nd and 15, it's Derek Barnett once again. Inside the 20 to the 18. Like, all that matters is the fact that the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers most likely are all in contention for the 1 seed in week 18. So then you have to put all those games on Saturday. That way, when the Rams beat the Cardinals, it sets the stage for what can happen in Seahawks and 49ers. Herbert looking to throw on 3rd and 22. Pass left side. Going to be caught up past the 20 and down to the 25. So a gain of 7, but not enough for the first. The Chargers will go 3 and out. If I can find a screenshot of it, I can go up to another monitor and get that. I'm going to send you it. I mean, it's hard for Herbert to give his offensive line presence when he doesn't know who his offensive line is any given week. All right, punt comes off clean. And it's going to be out of bounds near like the 40 or so. Because what game are you going to replace Raiders Giants with? Because you know that's going to be a bad game, but it features two bad teams. Cardinals Rams features the Rams, who are a Super Bowl contender and are in contention for the 1 seed. It's a different story because you're not going to replace Bears 49ers Sunday Night Football for that game. You're not going to replace the Rams for that game because the Rams are a Super Bowl contender and in the 1 seed. Even the Rams blowing out the Cardinals on Saturday's standalone is still going to be a better on-field product than what Raiders and Giants is going to be. Because the Rams are that good of a team. It's still going to be fun to watch the Rams blow them out. Also, T-Fox, I'm sending you the graphic right now. That actually might be the case with Sam Darnold. Yeah, but the Buccaneers were a wild card team in 2020 when Brady got there. That actually might be the case. Sam Darnold might be, he might be the first, which would be very interesting. Yeah, Raiders Giants is gonna be a terrible game, but it will be a so bad it's funny type of game. Kind of. That's why it's like, obviously the NFL would have wished for a lot of like the Cardinals to be a bit more competitive and for other stuff to go differently. But with where the matchups are currently slated, Rams Cardinals is going to be, because again, it's also a 4 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday when there's college football going on. You can't really have anything massive competing in that window. I think it'll be a fine game to have in that window. Stroud handoff up the middle, going to be out past the 45 down to about the 43. End up not being a great punt. And only a 22-yard punt puts the Texans in starting field position past midfield. Stroud under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the right. Play action looking to throw, rolling right, buying some time. Still looking, pass is going to be caught by Nico Collins inside the 25, past the 20, and finally forced out of bounds at the 16. Yeah, but there's still bowl games on. Like, let's see, that's Saturday. Actually, yeah, nothing is slated for that Saturday. Okay. But still. Handoff left side, can have some space for Jalen Noel for a gain of about 8. And there's a penalty down as well. Lamar Jackson on the inactive list for Baltimore. It's going to be Tyler Huntley versus Malik Willis tonight. Exclusive on Peacock. That's going to be it. Penalty is holding against the Texans. 8:20 to play in the third. like I said, there's no college football schedule for that. But again, either way, that's not the window the NFL is looking to maximize. Stroud handoff right side for Woody Marks going to be about loss of a 1 or so. Because again, even with that game potentially being a blowout, 1, you can't assume that, and 2, it is borderline for the 1 seed. And you still want to showcase a Super Bowl contender. And yeah, again, the Rams blowing out the Cardinals would be a fun game to watch still, because the Rams are that good of a team. Stroud pass right side, gonna lose about 3 or so there. So they went from a 1st and 10 to about from inside the 20 to a 3rd and 23 from the 33. Stroud alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Looking to throw, quick pass right side, can be caught inside the 25 and down to about the 24 to get this into better field goal range here for Yami Fairbairn. They might be. And thus that game has even more at stake. Because it's either the Rams win and they're in contention for the 1 seed still, and the Cardinals could potentially the 1st overall pick, or the Cardinals pull off a fantastic upset, knock out the Rams for that division title, and hurt their draft stock. 41-yard kick from the right hash. Kick is up, and it is good. Back to a 14-point game. All right, 17-3, 6:04 to play in the 3rd quarter. I mean, I'm having a quad box right now with some college football on, but it's like at the same time, like it's the NFL is still the king. Even a game like Cardinals Rams, if that's a standalone game, it's still going to get 20 million viewers. Because the Rams are money makers. The Rams bring viewers. The Rams are one of those teams where if you can get them a standalone game, you put them standalone no matter who they're playing. There's a reason why Rams Falcons was not flexed out. And it's not because the Falcons have been it's not because the Falcons. And I'll be fine with it because most likely that means that the Rams are playing incredible football and are showcasing why they're a Super Bowl contender. Oh, San Diego State just had a big breakaway touchdown. All right, they're making things close against North Texas. As we're at commercial break in this one, 6:04 to play in the 3rd. Yeah. Again, I'll give you this. You're talking to someone who sat through the entirety of Broncos Colts Thursday night a few years ago. Someone who wishes the Big Ten West was something. You're talking to someone who, no matter what kind of football is on, I want to watch it. No, Rams Falcons wasn't flexed because it's the Rams on prime time. They don't care about the Falcons being on prime time. They care about the Rams. No. Also, that wouldn't matter for week 18. If anything, also it could mean for a potential upset. Kickoff returned up past the 30, 35, and down to about the 33. The short week stuff only matters for why there's no Monday night and no Thursday night for week 18. Yeah. For as much as Stan Kroenke is hated because of what he did to St. Louis, he has made the Rams a must watch team since they arrived in LA, basically. Herbert under center, play action, looking to throw. Stepping up, going to take it himself for about 2 or 3. Yeah, but again, that doesn't matter for week 17 into week 18. That's still a more time than Sunday to Thursday night. That does not matter. Herbert looking to throw in 2nd and 8. Pressure coming and sacked. At the 31, there is a penalty. We'll see what this is. It's offsides against Houston. 5 yards and replay, 2nd down. Yeah, Thursday night games are a lot tougher than Monday to Saturday. Like, well, yes, it would be a short week. It is still a longer week than Thursday night games give. Which is why Thursday night games should not exist, but money, so they're going to keep doing it. 2nd and 3, Herbert in shotgun, back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left as well. Handoff up the middle is going to get stuffed at the line for no gain. Again, Monday to Saturday is still a longer time in between games than Sunday to Thursday. So the days in between does not matter. If they can still have standard practice days, planes, and also you realize that for Thursday night games, teams don't actually practice, right? They do walkthroughs. Herbert pass over the middle, gonna be hot pass to 45 and down to about the 41. Again, most practices aren't like hard hitting practices. They're borderline walkthroughs. And for Thursday night games, they are exclusively walkthroughs. You don't really have like the training camp level practice during the season. Yeah, it's recovery, is watching tape. It's getting 15 plays in order for the opening drive. Herbert pass left side, going to be off the mark and incomplete. What do we want to call the definition of a cross country? As Herbert gonna bobble the exchange on the handoff but fall back on it. Because earlier you had the Vikings traveling to Los Angeles earlier this season for Thursday night. The Cowboys traveled to Detroit, so that's cross country vertically. And also, again, the short week that Thursday night brings is shorter than the short week that Monday to Saturday brings. Third and 14. Herbert in shotgun. Back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Herbert going to look to throw. Stepping up. Going to take it himself with space past the 40, 35, past the 30, past the 25 to 20, and out of bounds at the 17. Also, one of the final things on this. The Rams-Cardinals game is in Los Angeles. So they don't have to travel to Arizona, which one is a short trip. And two, again, they're not the ones traveling for the Week 18 game. So the short week does not matter. All right, 2:14 to play in the third. First and 10 from the Houston 16. And Derek Stingley is shaken up after the play. We have an injury timeout. All right, Stingley's up and jogging to the sideline under his own power. That's a great sign. Yeah, but that travel back does not play into anything. The fact that they play Monday night does not factor into anything. All right, first and 10 from the Houston 16. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side. Pennant in motion, right to left. Quick throw, left side, caught by Amari and Hampton. It's inside of 15 and out of bounds to about 12. Yeah. Because again, that 5 days is about actually the amount of time you would want minimum in between games. That's like the standard typically. Now that you have the Thursday night, which is 4 days in between, which is why like Thursday night should not really exist, but they deal with it anyway. Yeah, like they're not gonna have really a short week. Technically it is, but in the grand scheme of things, no. Herbert in shotgun, gonna play action and look to throw. Rolling right, buying time, still looking. Pass end zone gonna be incomplete. Looking for a Rondé Gadsden, and luckily that's not picked off. So 3rd and 6 coming up. 3rd and 7-ish. Yeah. Again, Stroud had the 2 opening drives, and since then, kind of just been playing okay. So 3rd and 7, Herbert looking to throw from shotgun. Pressure coming. Gets rid of it over the middle. Is caught by Quentin Johnston down to the 5. There is a penalty marker down, and somehow Herbert did not get sacked there. He was wrapped up and got rid of it in time. We'll see what the penalty is. It's holding against Houston. That will be declined. 1st and goal from the 4 coming up for the Chargers. I mean, he's completely wrapped up, but he's still able to get that ball out cleanly. Herbert under center, back behind him. Man in motion left to right. Herbert going to hand this off up the middle, and that's down to the 1. One more play is needed for the end of the third quarter. Amari and Hampton was on the carry. So 2nd and goal, Herbert under center, back and fullback behind him, tight end in motion right to left. Play action, rolling right. pass wide open in the end zone. Oronde Gadsden. And the Chargers finally find 6. They cut into this deficit with 13 seconds to play in the third. It's about time. Yeah, that's a perfect play call there. Gadsden leaks out towards the back of the end zone. No one's even close. That's the drive the Chargers have been needing. Extra point is up, and it is good. I don't see those being the games. One, because, I mean, Chargers just scored, but... One, there is still the potential that the Buccaneers get eliminated this week. Which, what would it take for that to happen? A loss and a win, yeah. So most likely not, but who knows? There's just too much around the NFC West games for those not to be Saturday. The NFL will be making a massive mistake not putting those on Saturday. Jay Sterdenberger is retiring. Good on him. Great career in the UFL. Alright, bub. It'll join the album backlog that I have built up here that I actually need to start listening through. I need to record that soon. That's not going to be able to get work. I need to start researching more videos. I wouldn't say the Bucks are another good team. I'm more willing to, but you can more than certainly bank on the Rams winning. Yeah, but again, if the Rams beat most likely the Rams will beat the Falcons. And thus you have the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers all in contention for the 1 seed. The Seahawks and 49ers is gonna have outcomes dependent on the Rams and Cardinals. So you're making Seahawks and 49ers Saturday night. Rams Cardinals must be Saturday afternoon. No ands, ifs, or buts. And thus at the end of Saturday, you have the NFC 1 seed in place. Kickoff underway, going to be returned beginning from the goal line, up past the 20, past the 25, and down to about the 20, about 25 still. The Bears can be the 1 seed. The Bears can be the 1 seed only if, what's the exact? Yeah, the Bears loss. So again, in order for like that idea to be in place, the only way the 49ers are in the contention for the 1 seed is if they beat the Bears on Sunday night. That game has more impact on what Saturday is going to look like than Rams Falcons. Philly does not have a chance at the 1 seed. Philly was knocked out of contention of the 1 seed a few weeks back. Stroud handoff right side for Woody Marks. Going to be about 2 or 3, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. 15 minutes remain. A playoff spot on the line. Division title on the line. 15 minutes to decide things. Yeah, the Eagles were knocked out of 1 seed contention with the Seahawks win over the Rams. Knocked them out, I believe. That knocked the Eagles out of 1 seed contention. And then again, that's because it's that, and then you have and then you have the 49ers. Yeah, so again, only way for the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams to all be in contention for the 1 seed is if the 49ers beat the Bears. Right? So that by the 49ers beating the Bears on Sunday night, it would knock Chicago out of the 1 seed contention. If the Bears beat the 49ers, it would win them the division and give them contention for the 1 seed. So then you're up in the air on what Saturday can be, and then you get the potential ability of the Buccaneers and Panthers, and Chargers Broncos, depending on how this game ends. So Sunday night plays more of a factor for what Saturday will be than Rams Falcons. Yeah, assuming the Bears win, then it's completely up in the air, and who knows what Saturday will look like. But as you're saying, we can bank on the 49ers. If we can bank on the 49ers beating the Bears, we can 100% bank on the Rams beating the Falcons. And thus you have the NFC West on Saturday. I'm more confident in the Rams beating the Falcons than I am the 49ers beating the Bears. I picked the Bears to win on Sunday night. Yeah. But obviously, there's still that potential. So until that potential is no longer on the table, I'm going to say the NFC West is the Saturday games. Because as of right now, the NFL is few in week 17 as we need the possibilities that get Saturday's slate looking like the NFC West games. Because that would be the best for viewers. That would bring in the most viewers. So until we get to no time remaining on Bears 49ers, the NFC West is the games the NFL wants on Saturday. Stroud pass right side going to be incomplete, looking for Xavier Hutchinson, and that's the first play of the fourth quarter. 3rd and 7 coming up. At 3rd and 7, Stroud in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. Man in motion, left to right, back to left. Stroud looking to throw. Pressure coming, pass deep, left side. Gonna be just overthrown, looking for Jalen Noel. Texans go 3 and out. And they're going to say roughing the passer against the Chargers. The difference between that Raiders-Chargers game and what the Rams and Cardinals would be is the Raiders and Chargers, none of those teams were in contention for the Super Bowl. The Rams are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And again, if they are the Saturday game, they're in contention for the 1 seed. It is possible for a drive to last 15 minutes. Yes. The only way Rams Cardinals is on Saturday is if the 49ers beat the Bears and the Rams beat the Falcons. That's the only way. Handoff up the middle for Woody Marks, going to get a gain of about 2. As there was a roughing the passer on the 3rd and 7. So that was 1st and 10. It's the Rams. no matter what type of game the Rams play, it's good for viewers. There's certain teams where no matter the outcome of a game, viewers are going to follow. It's the Cowboys, it's the Rams, it's the Chiefs, it's the Patriots. Those are the top four. No matter the outcome, you're going to get at least 15 plus million viewers. Stroud pass right side going to be caught for about the line of scrimmage for Dalton Schultz. Especially if it's a standalone game. All right, 3rd and 7. Stroud in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receivers to the left. 13.5 to play in the game. Stroud looking to throw. Pressure coming, stepping left, passing left. Gonna be just off the mark and incomplete, looking for Nico Collins. Surrounded by 2 Chargers defenders, and now the Chargers officially get off the field. It's gonna be a chance to tie this game up. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying with them potentially being in contention for the 1 seed, and with how well their viewership is, you put them on Saturday. Because you always realize you can't put every team's games on a primetime slot. Other networks still have the say in things and can protect games. Yeah, but not a lot of other teams are in contention for the 1 seed. I think that's the part you're missing with all of this. The 1 seed being in contention is massive in this scenario. That carries 90% of the weight. Strickland against the Rams. Probably Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. The punt comes off clean and is down at the 2. And yeah, Ram games are fun. Like, there's a reason so many teams get 5+ primetime games. Because those are the teams that bring in the views. Trust me, if it was up to the NFL, if the NFL was able to, the Cowboys would be on primetime every single week. But they have to limit themselves. And also, there's like stadium scheduling that comes into play and a whole bunch of other shit. As we're at commercial break. Yeah, but again, the outcome does not matter when there's playoff standings in play. Also, looking at the elimination scenarios, none of what we're talking about even really does fully matter. Seahawks win and 49ers win. Rams are eliminated from the division. So this is a scenario that takes place if Rams win, Seahawks lose, and 49ers win. That's the only 3 outcomes that lead to this scenario. It's one of like 10. Probably actually a lot more. What would that be? That's the point of what most of this conversation has been trying to get at, is It's all just based off of a very specific outcome. And yeah, if it's the early game, it won't fully matter. Herbert passed right side for Marion Hampton, gonna lose a yard. He's second 11 from the own 1 yard line. Herbert in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side. Second 11 from their own 1. Herbert looking to throw. Has time, pass deep, left side. Gonna be overthrown, looking for Quentin Johnston. Yeah, did any conversation any conversation about scheduling that anyone has does not matter in the grand scheme of things. It's all just hypotheticals. Until the NFL announces their scheduling, for all we know, the NFL might put Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets, Bills on Saturday because of the end of the AFC East being up for grabs. We don't know. It's just unlikely. Technically, every single combination of games could be on Saturday right now. We don't know which one's gonna be until they announce it. Herbert quick pass left side can be caught past the 15, out of bounds near about the 18. Yeah, you're all good. It gave us something to talk about for the halftime break and the entire third quarter. And now this game's starting to get interesting, so focus can be pulled back to. All right, they picked up the penalty as it was a backwards pass there by Herbert. There was a 1st and 10 coming up. Ball on their own 19. Big time drive here for the Chargers. Yeah, that's a clean backwards pass. Herbert in shotgun, gonna hand this off up the middle, and that gets past the 20 to about the 21. Second and 9 coming up. Yeah, how likely is it actually that all the divisions get clinched this week? Not very. Mainly because of Buccaneers, Panthers. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, looking to throw in second and 9. Pass left side, going to be off the mark and incomplete. So a 3rd and 9 coming up. Hey, BYU won the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Fuck yeah. Go Big 12. Herbert in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. 3rd and 9 from their own 20. Herbert looking to throw. Pressure coming, stepping left. Pass back over the middle, going to be caught, but only picks up about a yard, maybe 2 for Marion Hampton. And the Chargers drive stalls out, and they'll have to punt. Nebraska has not played today. I'm not sure if they play. No, it's the they get to eat a giant Pop-Tart. Great. Windows. Nebraska plays on Wednesday. They play on New Year's Eve. They play Utah. All right, heading to a commercial break. As the punt is out of bounds near the Houston 45. Damn, Nebraska's gonna be competing with Michigan and Texas for bowl game views. That's crazy. I mean, this was a great season for BYU. Their two losses were to Texas Tech when they had to scramble for a quarterback right before the season began. That ended up being a great season for them. We have Ravens Packers is also tonight. Tyler Huntley versus Malik Willis. No expectations for that game. Who knows? It's Tyler Huntley versus Malik Willis. I know I'm not going live with that game. I wanted to be able to put all my energy towards this one. This game has more importance to it. Yeah, like there's some things at stake for Packers Ravens. I can't put myself to sit through Tyler Huntley versus Malik Willis. Not when we're doing 3 games tomorrow. I want to save my voice a bit. It shouldn't be terrible, but I watched too much Tyler Huntley last year when he was in Miami. I don't want to watch any more of his starts. Stroud under center, back behind him, 2 receiving options to each side. Stroud gonna hand this off up the middle, and there's room for Woody Marks to about the 45. I like Willis as well, but yeah, that's just not a game worth it. Hello. Yeah, go Texans. And I'm impartial on this one. During predictions, I picked the Chargers to win, but that's looking like a terrible choice now. But which I'm fine with that being a bad choice because the Texans have shown a bit more to me offensively in this one than they did last week. As the Texans are still my Super Bowl pick. Stroud handoff up the middle is going to be enough space for Woody Marks to get the first and a gain of about 3. 9:50 to play in this one. Oh my, the Rangers and Islanders had probably the perfect national anthem showing. Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show Houston's defense. Oh yeah, the Texans, yeah. I mean, the Texans had 2 great drives to begin, and then they were able to move the ball decently well throughout. It's just they got in their own, they just some bad interceptions. Handoff up the middle, gonna get about 8 for Woody Marks once again. Because like the first interception, the ball was tipped. I won't really put that on Stroud too much. The second one was a bit bad, but I mean, like for the most part, I'm cool with how the Texans have been playing this game. Stroud under center, back behind him, 3 receiving options to the right. Man in motion right to left. Stroud gonna hand this off up the middle for Woody Marks. Gonna get about a yard. There is a penalty down. Probably gonna be a legal shift against Houston. Oh no, it's offsides against the Chargers. Okay. Automatic first down. Yeah. The offense showing levels of competency in this game is great. Because the defense is one you have to be confident in that can win you a Super Bowl. They've been playing spectacular this season. It's you need the offense to back it up, and at some point they've been doing it. Illegal shift essentially means when a player's when a player moves and they go towards the line of scrimmage, they eventually need to stop and be set for a few seconds before the ball is snapped. Stroud handoff up the middle is blown up by Khalil Mack, a loss of about 3. Illegal shift is essentially a way to make sure no one gets a full proper run and start towards the line of scrimmage. And that they are starting from relatively flat foot. Because like in the CFL, you can line someone up like 10 yards behind the line and have them sprinting towards the line before snapping the ball. It's fun, but yeah, the NFL doesn't want stuff like that. Stroud in shotgun, back to his left, gonna hand this off up right side. Breaks off one tackle and has space, past the 30 and down to about the 26. Trying to get those yards back from the negative 4-yard run and then some. Yeah. Like, all the Texans need is an above-average offense, and they're surefire Super Bowl contenders this year. And they've shown to have an above-average offense at points. You just need to get consistent with it, and for the most part, it's there. Third and 5, 6:35 to play. And the Texans will call their first timeout, as they're not going to get that snap off in time. So they call that timeout with 6:37 to play. I'm thinking right, like after the season, I'm gonna do like a deep dive into their offense and let's say deep dive more like a comparison with last year, because it has just been bad, and the reasons behind it right now are like somewhat making sense, but it definitely want to do a deeper look into it, because it's 95% the same offensive roster. I think the main piece that left them was Mekhi Becton. Besides that, it's pretty much the same. I mean, they lost Kellen Moore as their OC, and it's now Kevin Petula. But besides that, it's still the same talent. It's just they're not looking nearly the same level wise. Stroud on 3rd and 5, looking to throw. Pressure comes quick. Pass left side, gonna be incomplete. A little bit low there. There's a 4th and 5 coming up. Tony Jefferson in coverage, looking for Jalen Noel. The Chargers are sending pressure at just the right times throughout this game. Because like, if Stroud has the time to let that play develop a bit, Noel gets open behind the defense. With pressure in his face, the ball comes off. The ball's a bit of a lofter. And it falls incomplete. The 44-yard kick from the right hash is up, and it is good. Back to a 2-possession Texan lead, up by 10. With 6:29 to play in the game. I mean, he gets hit while throwing that ball. You can't put it fully on him. That's one where you'd like to have a check down option. It just what he did not have that there. It's just a nicely disguised blitz by the Chargers, if anything. Because like Stroud still got it out there and made it so Noel could have had the chance to make a play on that ball. Obviously, it wasn't a great chance, but it was a chance nonetheless. It's better than taking a sack. All right, kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 1-yard line. Base out past the 15, past the 20. and down to about the 25. Just not gonna have commercial breaks at this point. Come on. Got my dinner just arrived. Come on. Yeah, this Lad McConkey has not had a single target in this game. Good thing I did not start him in fantasy. I was tempted to. Herbert alone in shotgun. 3 receiving options to the left, 2 to the right. Herbert looking to throw. Has time, pass deep, left side. Wide opens McConkey. Pass midfield to the 45, as they just showed them. I have some chicken teriyaki delivered. Yeah, so that's at the door. Hoping for a commercial break there to be able to go get it. But Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. Now looking to throw once again. Pressure coming, stepping up. Looking to take it himself, gonna get about 3. I won't be live with Packers and Ravens, but I will be live with 3 games tomorrow. I'll be live with Dolphins Buccaneers at 1, Eagles Bills at 4:25, and then Sunday Night Football between the Bears and 49ers at 8:20. All right, 2nd and 8. Chargers going a bit hurry up here. Herbert in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side. And booze starting to rain as Herbert was unhappy with the refs not being able to get not allowing him to get a 12-man on field penalty against the Texans. Herbert quick pass right side could be caught by Marion Hampton for a gain of about 8 yards. With 3rd and 7-ish coming up. Just under 5 minutes to play in the game. Third and 6. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side. Herbert looking to throw. Pressure coming and sacked. Back near midfield. 3 Texans get back there. One of them being Danielle Hunter. There is a penalty marker down. What is this penalty? The penalties seemingly in the secondary. It's illegal contact against Houston. 5 yards and automatic first. Such a bad penalty to take. Calling against Jalen P. Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, I have no idea what that... Yeah, that's clear as well. It's like he saw Herbert getting sacked and tried to crash towards the line. And he runs into Lad McConkey while doing so. Herbert looking to throw in 1st and 10. Pass over the middle is caught by Gadsden. Inside the 10 to the 9. And with the new life that the Chargers have thanks to the illegal contact, they have a 1st and goal. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left. 2 receivers to each side. Looking to throw. Pass right side for the end zone is incomplete. Looking for Keenan Allen back shoulder against Derek Stingley. 2nd and goal coming up with 3:51 to play in the game. Yeah. That's great coverage by Stingley. All right, 2nd and goal from roughly the 10. Herbert in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. Looking to throw. Has some time, rolling right. Now still rolling, now going to be sacked. Trying to make a move. Sacked at the 13. Chargers fan want a penalty as Will Anderson might have hit him a bit late, but nothing down. Going to be a 3rd and goal from about the 13. Oh, there's a penalty in the end zone, though. Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see where the defensive penalty is going to come in here. In the end zone, near the front pylon on the right side. Derek Stingley against Keenan Allen. A bit of a hold, potentially. I know they called it against Azeez Al-Shaair. Either way, it's a defensive hold in. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5. So 2 bad penalties against the Texans. Bad as in bad for the Texans to take them. Now like bad as in they should not have been penalties. Herbert looking to throw in 1st and goal. Has time. Pass. End zone is incomplete. Looking for Ladd McConkey. But he slips in the back of the end zone and it's 2nd and goal. Can we get to some kind of commercial? Oh, no, it was a bad throw by Herbert, actually. Threw it too far to the right. So Herbert and shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left. Handoff up the middle for Amari and Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Los Angeles. It is a 4 potentially 3-point game with 3:37 to play. And this game's getting a whole lot more interesting now all of a sudden. Back to a 1-score game with still plenty of time for the Chargers. 3:37 to play and all 3 timeouts. All right, the extra point is up. And he missed it. He hooked it to the left. It remains a 4-point game. Cameron Dicker is off his game so far in this one. There is a penalty down. But Cameron Dicker is off his game tonight. Offsides against the Chargers. That'll be declined. Hey, yeah, new laptops are always nice. All right, there's gonna be the kickoff here. I'm gonna quickly make sure just to get my food. My food is no longer on the front porch, so I don't really care about where it is now. Kickoff coming up. After the touchdown to make it a 4-point game. And then a missed extra point to keep it that way. That is Cameron Dicker's first missed extra point of the season. Kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 3. Space out past the 20. Past the 25 and down to the 26. 3:32 to play. So with this being a 4-point game, it puts a little bit less pressure on the Texans offense. There is still some to be able to extend this lead. But at least now, if the Chargers get the ball back, more so when than if, it feels. They no longer can tie the game with a field goal. That's the key thing. Stroud under center, back behind him, gonna hand this off up the middle for Woody Marks and gets about half a yard. Also, Cameron Dicker's missed field goal earlier was his first miss from inside 40 of his career. Crazy. if they tie the game with 2 safeties, that would probably be the funniest way this game could be tied. Probably only funnier. I mean, no, it's not even possible to get a 1-point safety anymore. Now that would have been the only funnier way. Stroud play action looking to throw. Pass over the middle, going to be caught to the 40. Breaks off 1 tackle and get to the 45. It's Nico Collins on the reception. And the Texans get a fresh set of downs with just about 3 minutes to play. I was going to say, like, a field goal and a 1-point safety would have been the funniest way for this game to be tied, but that's not possible. Because in order for a 1-point safety to happen... Oh, wait, no, no, it's not possible. We require a team to score a touchdown again. In fact, we require the Chargers to score a touchdown. Houston in shotgun. Stroud under center, I mean. Gonna hand this off up the middle, and Woody Marks loses 2. I'm not sure how much you can run the ball in this one. And the Chargers will call their second. When did they take their first? Oh, it was after the 0-yard carry. Okay, I missed that. So Chargers call their second timeout with 2:37 to play in the game. I didn't even see the broadcast mention that timeout. Okay. The Texans have yet to get into the red zone today, by the way. And they're up by 4. Crazy. 2nd and 12. Feels like a first down ends of this game at this point. Stroud under center, back behind him. Handoff, right side. And it's going to get about 3 or 4 for Woody Marks. And the Chargers will call their final timeout. Now you're definitely at the point where first down could pretty much ice this game. So again, if the Chargers hang on to win this, they would clinch a playoff spot, eliminate the Colts, and the Broncos would win the AFC West. If the Chargers hang on, if the Chargers complete the comeback, they would make next week's game against the Broncos a 1 game for the division game. Third and 9. Stroud in shotgun, back to his right. Dalton Schultz in the backfield to his left. Looking for the Charger 45-yard line. Stroud to throw. Pressure coming. Stroud steps left and is sacked. Back at the 36, there's a penalty. What's the penalty? It's illegal contact against the Chargers. No. No. Not like this. Yeah. I'm already not a massive fan of illegal contact, just as a rule. But it's 1st and 10 for Houston at about midfield. And that might be that's probably how Denver, the 3rd penalty against the Chargers tonight, is probably gonna be how Denver wins this division. Stroud under center, back behind him. Handoff up the middle, and there's space for Woody Marks. Down to the 41. And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play, a 2nd and 2, with a first down icing the game. And sending the Texans definitively to the playoffs. But first, a commercial break. 2-minute warning. The Texans are 2 yards away from punching their ticket. An illegal contact penalty gives Denver the division, most likely, and sends Houston to the playoffs. Wow. Just wow. Add commercial break for the 2-minute warning. North Texas and San Diego State is 28-20 at the half. Going to be even more after that personal foul that San Diego State just had against them. Still at commercial break. A company being called Tax Slayer is fantastic. Yeah, ticky-tacky call and an illegal contact. Add commercial break. Mike Piera, the rules analyst, even says that it's a tough call, but technically it's the correct one. It could be the correct call, but it could still be a bad one. Stroud under center, back behind him. 2 yards for the playoffs. Handoff up the middle, and Woody Marks gets it. He picks up 2.5. And with the Chargers being out of timeouts, the Denver Broncos have won the AFC West. The Indianapolis Colts have been eliminated, and the Houston Texans have punched their ticket into the playoffs with one more game to play, as they're still looking to potentially win the AFC South for a 3rd straight year. They're going to need some help on that end, with the Colts playing Jacksonville tomorrow. Yeah, what a fall for the Colts. 8-1 at one point this season. Pretty much a lock for the playoffs at 98%. And 6 weeks later, they're going to be sitting at home come January. Or come halfway through January. And the Chargers will now have to go on the road in the playoffs, as there's the final kneel down. 20-16 your final. So with this, it's going to push the Chargers temporarily into the 7th seed. And Houston will temporarily be the 6th seed. So depending on what happens tomorrow, we'll see how the Bills move around in that. But for the 3rd straight year, and that's 3 straight years is a franchise record for the Texans. God, after an 0-3 start, the Texans go on to win 11 of their past 13 and are in the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. Currently set to be heading to Jacksonville in the first in the wild card round. Obviously, that will depend on outcomes tomorrow and all that. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I won't be live for Packers and Ravens. I will be live for 3 games tomorrow, beginning at 1 p.m. as the Dolphins take on the Buccaneers. Hope to see you all there. If not, have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.